You won't want to miss the major news we have coming shortly. It features the White House, a crypto symposium, another SEC action, and the conclusion of the main event, the Ripple versus SEC case. I anticipate that the Bitcoin markets will turn around and that we will eventually overcome the recent downward pressure. Hold off till you see the latest case that was dismissed, because it featured fraud rather than just the selling of illicit securities. As the SEC contends, it was, in my opinion, more significant than Ripple v. SEC. Without further ado, unwind and let's begin with Bitcoin 84.5, which is up 3.75% on its own after the 24-hour period and turned green on the 24-hour chart. While XRP is just relaxing after tapping in the $2 line and soaring all the way back to $213, Ethereum is currently trading at $2,156, at 2% USDT and USDC, both of which are approaching their dollar pegs. The market capitalization of all cryptocurrencies is up over 3% and is working to surpass the all-time high of 2.77 trillion set in 2020. This will allow us to reach the first major milestone of 3 trillion, after which we may continue to increase. I really believe that we will get close to $4 trillion by the end of this quarter or the beginning of Q2, which would put us in a strong position for the rest of the year. But the borrowing is here, so don't worry. In the statement, Michael Branch made this public. The exchange said that XRP leverage trading would soon be operational, enabling traders to profit from XRP price fluctuations with up to 2x leverage. We are discussing XRP derivatives. Approaching a different exchange. Bitflyer is a South Korean exchange, I think. If I'm not mistaken, they will say that 2x leverage isn't that much. However, leverage trading for XRP will still go live. This is significant since leverage trading generates a lot of revenue, and futures. Bitflyer previously only offered Bitcoin, the CFD, and the Japanese Jinin, but it is now also offering XRP and Ethereum. It says that this exchange is delighted to having had the top Bitcoin trading volume in Japan for 9 years in a row. That's a lot of people, and now they're bringing on 2 times the leverage for XRP and Ethereum to put this out. You should start paying attention to Ando if you're not already. It says, we brought together industry leaders at the Ando Summit. They announced that Ando Nexus and Ando Chain have partnered with MasterCard World Liberty Finance, Bito, and Stellar. Additionally, Ando has partnered with Chainlink and Ripple, and they recently announced that Patrick McHenry will serve as their vice chairman. Avoid sleeping on Ando or real-world tokenized assets. It will play a significant role in the future. Many of the bigger money plays that will enter the cryptocurrency market will target real-world tokenized assets at this time. I don't have to look. I think those are probably trading at about $1 right now. Why don't we pull it out? I'm in Ando at about $7 to $8. I made a lot of money on the last downturn, and now you're sitting at 98. This is a fantastic price, in my opinion, and I believe we have a good chance of reaching about $10 this cycle. I do believe it might be one of the top performers in 2025, based on a very cautious projection, with a possible blow-off peak of about $30 or 30x. Hey, we're excited for spring. I like crypto spring, so you should too, Dr. Fender stated. February is typically one of the most bullish months for cryptocurrencies, but this time around it was really difficult. According to reports, the XRP hit its lowest Fibonacci levels before rising again. I'm pleased to see the framework we established in February come to pass. He claims that without the upper target sitting at 244, 299, and 585, we have support sitting at $1.88 and $1.91. As you can see from the live XRP chart I picked up here, there are 2 regions of support for the price, one between a 164 and a 174, and the other directly above it, between a 190 and $2. Once that is broken, we're practically in a no man's land. We talk about 282 a lot on this channel, and it's the main resistance area. You see a lot of people talking about like $299 $3, and there's a little resistance there. Every time you're trying to break over a whole number, like $1.2345, there's always a little resistance sitting around those areas. I would anticipate an upward push to get us between that 265 and 282 level, which is going to be your key level for breakout. I don't think it will be too difficult to get through, but I do think there will be a huge or up into the $4 to $5 range if 282 is broken, which I'm hoping will happen this month or early next month. Hold on a minute. He says, in here, we've seen these dips before, pretty much. Corrections, we've witnessed this market leader roughly 7 times. You shouldn't be concerned because nothing has changed on his end. Look, we're about to take off in a major way, I stated in reference to his ball run. Now is the moment to enter. You won't want to miss what's coming, and my prices are still affordable. Later on, you'll be kicking yourself for thinking, damn man. In March, February, and March, I had the opportunity to enter at these ground floor pricing, but I decided against it since, as they say, scared money doesn't make money. How about we listen to R? Now let's look at these stages of rectification. We have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 20% pullbacks, as you know if you have followed me this far. That's all we have to deal with, though you may remember the last summer pullback, which was very awful. You've forgotten about those 7 pullbacks because you're thinking, oh my god, it got to 110 and now it's at 80. However, we've still had 100% returns from the bottom again. When we go back to 2017, it was more violent since Bitcoin was still in its early adoption phase. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 30% plus pullbacks, some of which were at 40%. It's like it's just noise, kids. Because it is early in the cycle, this is now more like Ethereum and more like Solana, which is more volatile. 5 times since the price of Bitcoin has already corrected by 20% to 30%, there is no need to panic. After that, look at this. The SEC filed a lawsuit against Pulse Chain founder Richard Hart for allegedly misusing investor funds for unnecessary upscale shopping. According to the 2023 article, Hart began marketing HEX in 2018 and asserted that it was the first high-yield blockchain certificate of deposit in violation of the SEC's lawsuit. Hart then began marketing HEX tokens as an investment that may lead to financial success. This was an obvious Ponzi scheme. He was being pursued by the SEC because this was blatant fraud and scam, but guess what? He raised nearly $1 billion, and the SEC recently dropped a complaint against him. The rippling the SEC is a litigation involving unregistered securities, and we have already rendered a decision in that matter. It is not a fraud case. Since XRP is not a security in and of itself, the question is why the SEC versus Ripple case is taking so long. I believe their goal is for the newly appointed head of the department to make the announcement when he formally assumes his position. In other words, the SEC's face changes, and they become the bully instead of the villain. That, in my opinion, will be the catalyst that starts the bull run in the future. The Kraken case is the only one remaining, and I think it will likely be dropped next week. After that, it's only a matter of timing on Ripple versus Section, thus I think they are deliberately waiting to announce this lawsuit being dismissed at the very end. In my opinion, the case should be dismissed while markets are rising rather than while they are declining. In addition, the White House is hosting its first ever cryptocurrency summit on March 7th, which is quickly approaching. Perhaps in March, we will learn that Ripple v. SEC will be dismissed. What do you suppose a pro-crypto president does during a crypto summit? They will talk about how we know that MEM coins won't be registered as securities and how all of these SEC lawsuits are being dismissed, leaving 2 to go. We now have a summit on Friday to talk about cryptocurrencies, founders' projects, and innovation after Kraken joined Ripple. Something big is about to happen, so keep a watch out because the US market is quite bullish. When it comes to Bitcoin, Trump is taking matters seriously and leading the way. I'm keeping an eye on this, and I'll be reporting on it right here on the show as soon as I find out more. Keep checking back.